Royal AM did not start their season very well. A 0-0 draw against Amazulu, a 4-2 demolition by Orlando Pirates, a 3-1 destruction job by Stellenbosch, but then they came back. A 1-0 win against TS Galaxy and followed up by a 3-2 win against Chippa United. Have they turned the corner? How will Chiefs set up? Who's going to win? Well, let's talk about all of those things in this video. Hello and welcome to Kosi Nation Fan TV. I am Bello, I am your host, and this is where fans meet and talk about Kaizer Chiefs. Kosi Football Club. This fixture is kind of tricky. 2 seasons ago, Royal AM destroyed us 4-1 under Stuart Baxter. Stuart Baxter gets COVID. Atazwane takes care of the team during that fixture. We lose that game 1-0. Last season, our very first game, we play against Royal AM. We lose 1-0. But later on in the season, we win the game 2-0, and then we meet them again in the Nedbank Cup, and again we win that game 2-1. Looks like things are going our way, aren't they? Because if you think about it, Kaizer Chiefs have played Royal AM, the version of Royal AM that was under John Matuka was very dangerous. Last season, the second fixture and the third fixture, the Nedbank Cup and the second leg of the league, not so great. And thinking about it, Ntseki looks at positional teams and he rubs his hands like this. Because he knows that if you're playing against a team that plays the ball and wants to keep the ball, it's easy for him. You just sit back and then let them attack you, win the ball back, kick it, let your wingers chase the ball. Because we have established this. I don't know who lied to people and told them that Ntseki is an offensive coach, because that was a lie, which is offensive. Get it? The pun? It's offensive. Anyways, the point is, this is how Kaizer Chiefs are going to set up, keeping in mind that they want to be defensive. In goal, Peterson is not going anywhere. Right back, and I have a bone to pick with this coach for this. He's still going to play with Quinik. Once again, people are going to say, Panpilo, Vele Kwinika has been solid. I have no problem with Kwinika and his ability to defend. I have a problem with him going forward. Because, yes, I will give him his flowers. For example, in the game that we played against Sundowns, he's the one who actually stopped the defender from marking Dupree. And subsequently, Dupree played that cross, and then Castillo headed the ball. If Kwinika hadn't made that run, then the striker would have been marked. Striker I'm talking about is Dupree, and he wasn't going to be able to cross the ball. But that's not his natural instinct to attack. They might be coaching it to him to get used to the fact that we overlap, we make these runs, we pin the wingers and the fullbacks. We have Frosler for that, we have Solomons for that. But the coach apparently still trusts him more. And another person that he trusts is our left back, Usfiso Hlant. Edmilson Dove is back, but we cannot be guaranteed or be sure that he will be a starter. Why? Because he's been injured for a very long time. And the last thing you want is for a player who just came back from a long-term injury to just run in and start in a game. Centre-back pairing, I don't see any changes, because once again, those two guys have played well. The only thing that I feel bad about with those two guys, Utitlokwe and Umsimango, is the fact that they are being played in a way that they have to get the ball, kick it. They can play. Give them the ball. Umsimango can pass the ball. Umsimango can see passes. Umsimango can carry the ball forward. But it seems like the instruction is get the ball, kick the ball. And I don't like that. It's not the proper use of such skilled players. Then you move on to our second line. Nothing's going to change as well. The Castillo, Matt. We have seen in recent games that Matt is the one who seems to be sitting, and then they let Castillo go ahead. Which makes me think, why are we then not just making Matt the single pivot and make him play alone as a 6, and then Castillo can play as an 8 alongside Umtanzane, rather than keeping Umtanzane as the only 10? Because if he plays as a 10, he gets quickly surrounded by the opponent, and because of that, he ends up losing the ball a lot, and people end up booing him. However, as I've said, Ntseki is a defensive coach, and what he wants to do is to be solid defensively. So if you have 4 people, and then you have 2 defensive midfielders who are protecting the back 4, then he feels more comfortable, because, well, we're defensively solid and we can close down opponents quick. With the 10, it's going to be interesting once again, because I think it's going to pick Umtanzane. Reason being, the fact that he trusts Ntseki. Another thing that is just a thing that is there is the fact that I've seen that Ntseki is trying to primarily focus on let's build this structure, this team that is positive. That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. And because of that, because he's trying to encourage the players and keep the players confident, it's a huge possibility that Ntseki might just be kept because he's being given extra chances to play. Because if you take him out after having 2 bad games, then to the player it's going to seem like, oh, Sonja, I don't perform for 2 games and then you drop me. But then again, it's kind of double standards because we saw the same thing. Beginning of the season, Shabalala and Zwane did not have the greatest of games against Chippa United, and then they've been dropped since. So I don't like this thing. I'm a double standard. So anyways, he trusts him and he's gonna keep him. Do like the video if you're enjoying it so that YouTube can share it to more people like you. You know, even if you're not subscribed, just a like will help. Goes a long way. Thank you for liking. If we move on to our right wing will be Potsane. I don't know why this will be, because personally I would play Dupré as a right winger, Modi as a left winger, and then I would play Jason Gonzalez as the striker. But that's not what I think Ntseki will do. Why is that? Because with the team that we're playing in Royal AM, they are going to have most of the ball. And then, Tina, what do we trust? We trust our pace up front. There is Dupré as a 9. There is Potsane as a right winger. There is Umodi as a left winger. But to me, I still feel like even when we do kick the ball, right, because we do kick the ball, we will kick the ball, I feel like even against Sundowns, we played better when we had a reference point because we were playing the ball to Jason Gonzalez and he was heading the ball down to the people who are playing, who was coming as a 10 or to the person who was playing as a right winger at the time, which was Dupré, or he was playing alongside him because they ended up playing a 4-4-2 of sorts. So he played the ball for Dupré and then Dupré could start giving trouble to the Sundowns defenders. So playing Jason Gonzalez just gives us something to compete for aerially. And if we do have set pieces, it adds another tall player in the box to head the ball. And it also just gives us that target man who's mobile, because that's another thing that I've seen with Gonzalez. I'm not hyping him that he's going to be the best striker ever, but from what I saw, the movements, the positions that he takes, how he competes for the ball, I think we can do much better with him playing rather than with Dupré playing as a number 9, because Potsane can always come in at second half replacing either Dupré or Moti, because remember, we have a game on Wednesday, we have a game on Saturday, so I wouldn't want us to overwork a player like Dupré, because we've seen that if we don't have Dupré up front, we tend to struggle. So I hope Chiefs tomorrow, they can be more passing and less of kicking off the ball, and also squad selection. Give me your score predictions down on the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, remember, equals Alpelumoya.